Okay. So here's how I feel about Republicans. Republicans. GOP, and there's a couple dot in between there, and quite plain and simply, I just don't generally put a lot of stock in any of them. I mean, as a politically minded person, I try to take in both sides. I follow the teachings of Sun Tzu. You know, I try to see what my enemy has to say. Uh, his teachings say that if you know your enemy, the better you know your enemy, the better you know yourself. Therefore, if you know their weaknesses, then you know your strengths, and vice versa. Pretty plain and simple, you know, strategy. Pretty plain and simple philosophy. I mean, as far as well, let me take these off. So once again, my fucking, I don't know, I get distracted by the reflection. It could be just a thing about the drunkenness, but I look at this camera and I see the reflection and it looks blue. So I don't know. I'm a German Irish guy, but not blue eyed. So yeah. Smoker's cough. Anyway, so as far as Republicans go, I mean, I just don't know how more evil you could be. I mean, you want to deprive working, fighting Americans of their rights. I mean, I just don't get it. I mean, and then you want to go ahead and deprive people of their social liberties. I mean, I remember back in the day. Well, okay, not so much back in the day, about 10 years ago. I mean, you guys were so proud of this fucking philosophy that oil will be renewed, and that you guys were so in favor of the civil liberties of Americans. And then lo and behold, you guys elected this guy named G.W. Bush, George Washington Bush, not George Herbert Washington. I don't know. George H.W. That was his father. If you didn't know, I don't know. I kind of seem to also doubt the intelligence of the standard Republican. Um. Anyway, George W. Bush. You elected him. I didn't. I voted against him twice. So you voted for him. And lo and behold, I mean, we have the biggest increase in government in 60 years. That's 60 years. And the biggest squash, squash, you're just clapping it close of civil liberties since the 1920s. Since the fucking, since since they didn't love, I can't remember the name of it. Since they stopped the sale of alcohol. I mean, look at yourselves. Look at yourselves in the mirror. And now I see in the news that you're aligning with the teabaggers. You know what a teabagger is? I know what a teabagger is. A teabagger is somebody who walks up behind another guy with his drawers down. No boxers, no pants, nothing. And he places his ball sack on the forehead of another guy. You get it? That's a teabagger. That's what the fucking teabagger is. Do not get this. Oh wait, you're looking at it as like the patriotic sense, like the people who dumped the tea over Boston Harbor. Hey, guess what? It's still a fucking thing. God. Oh my fucking god! It doesn't matter. Look at it how you want. You're still placing your ball sack on some other guy's forehead. Ah. Anyway, so my advice to you young Republicans or old Republicans or ancient Republicans or
niggers
or those of you who actually are like me, who actually appreciate your civil liberties, a libertarian, you need to distance yourself from the douchebags who run your party.
all vegetarian.
Because guess what? They're not fighting for your rights. They want to squash it. I mean, they actually allowed the NSA to spy on you. They lied. They allowed the Justice Department to actually tap your phone, search your home, search your cars, and everything. And I mean, just completely abolish all civil liberties with no other cause than the home. Guess what? You could be a terrorist. But I don't know about you, but I've never even thought. I've never even comprehended the idea of bombing a building or much less a city or anything else in these lovely borders that we call the United States. It just never even crossed my mind. And for you to allow these things to happen, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's happening under Obama too. He's continuing these laws and these rules, but at least he's trying to rectify some. I mean, he's nullifying something. He's actually trying to limit executive power. Imagine that. Imagine that. I mean, a guy who was elected president who was trying to limit the power that he's given. I mean, that's fucking George Washington shit. I mean, he was given the ability to be the king, and he refused it. He said, "I don't want to be king. I just overthrew George III of England. I don't want to become George the First of of America." And Obama's doing the same thing. I don't know. You gotta give him props for that. He's taking these abilities that Bush already gave him precedence for, the legal termination precedence. Bush created precedence, and he's overturning that. I don't know. I find it more than a little fucked up that the people who are supposed to take away your liberties are the ones giving them back to you, and the ones who are supposed to fight for them are the ones taking them away from you. So I don't know. Make your own choice. Once again, that's what I believe in. Making your choice. You get that ability. Just I pray on the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost as a former atheist, now turned agnostic, which I really shouldn't be crossing myself, but former Catholic. I hope to God that you make the right choice. Think for yourself. Stop listening to the guys on the soapboxes, bitching and preaching. You know, your Rush Limbaughs, your Sean Hannitys, your Bill O'Reillys, who love to stand on their soapbox. They love to preach. They love to bitch. But they just say the same things that the rest of the party's saying, which is nonsense. They want to stifle your right to speak against them. And they're the ones who want to tax the internet. That was a bill passed by a Republican senator. They're the ones who want to actually bring people like myself to justice based on their brand of justice. And more or less, they're just, yeah, they want to stifle you.